Hey, my name's Kevin Bean, and it's July 8th, and this is my little Curitiba, Brazil hotel room. And I got two very powerful testimonies I'd like to share. I've seen healings already, 100% healings in some people's elbows, and just some pains in their bodies, in their legs and their shoulders. But two in particular that stick out is the first night. There was a 12-year-old girl who came to me for prayer, and she was crying and she was very red in her face, and she said that she could not see. She had very poor vision, and that affected how she read and studied in school, and how she wrote. And she said she wants to she wants to be able to just be healed of her vision problems. And long story short, I put my hand on her shoulder and I saw this big heart. I saw this huge heart, and I thought, okay, that's, God, what does that mean? That's her heart to serve you, God. And I prayed for her and for healing and complete restoration in her sight. And when I was done praying, she went to check it out, and she could not see long distances, and she said she could see the complete other side of the church, which was a pretty big church, and she could read a small sign. And then she took a piece of paper, and she was covering up each eye, and she was even able to read the fine print on that paper. And she started smiling and speaking in Portuguese, and I said to my translator, good, bad, mas, menos, doi, and she said that the girl said it was too much better, and that she could see like she hasn't been able to see before. And then her older sister came to me, and I didn't know they were sisters, 14 years old. She came to me, similar type of thing, vision problems, but she had headaches, and she had just pain in her head from not being able to see right, and she really couldn't wear glasses or contacts. And I prayed for her, and she was healed. She was jumping up and down, and they were grabbing this woman, who then I found out was their mother, and the mother came to me, and this is around the time when we had to be finishing up for our prayer time. We had our global team was called to finish up, and so I prayed for her, and she had glasses, and she said she needs her glasses to see, but when she puts her glasses on, she gets pain and headaches, basically. And she has been dealing with this for a while. So I prayed for her, and there was a sign behind me that she said she could not read earlier in that service, and before I had prayed for her. And after I prayed for her, she said that the sign became about 70 to 80% more clear, and that she could see some of the words on there. And then the father came, her husband came over to me, and he had already received prayer. And he said he got 100% healed of a stomach problem, of something right in here in his stomach. But he said he didn't want prayer for that. What he wanted prayer for was his right eye, because he had cataracts in it. And as we were finishing up with our global team, I prayed for him real quick, and he said he felt fire and heat. And I said, is there any pain there? And he said, no, the pain I was experiencing earlier today is gone, but he said it still feels like there's like shades in the way, still like blurred vision. And I just prayed that God would align everything up, his cornea, his retina, his nerves, just the eyeball, and just straighten everything out. And he said he did feel some heat, but unfortunately we had to stop praying. But I told him I'll continue to keep praying for him, and I know he was encouraged, and I know some of the pain left him. So that was my first night, and that was my first experience ever with praying for somebody and seeing healing.
Awesome.
And the second testimony, real briefly, is
Carry on. Yeah, we'll carry on this clip. Go for it.
Okay. The second testimony, real briefly, is just for me personally. I came into this trip not knowing how to speak in tongues, not understanding what these spiritual gifts are, not understanding a lot of things. But I said, God, I want to receive you and experiencing you in new ways. And 3 nights ago on the bus, Tim Barry encouraged us to speak in tongues and learn it, and he gave a biblical foundation of it. And before I knew it, I was doing it, and I thought, oh my goodness! And that was just a very powerful experience for me to be able to experience that, and just some of the things I was saying, and I was talking to God. I was blessed to be able to experience that for the first time. And I grew up thinking, oh, that's kind of weird. But man, it was like none other. And then on Monday, I asked God to pray with me, just to say I want to experience God in more of a physical presence, a more of a physical way. just a manifestation like none other. And I've never been blasted or slain in the spirit. I've seen some little twitchings of my leg here and there, but nothing super huge. And God, I want that. And yesterday, after Randy Clark gave his pressing in to the presence of God sermon, he called people forward, and I walked up, and I wanted just to receive God. And my legs started shaking, and it was like somebody just took my legs right out from underneath me, and I went down. And long story short, I got drunk in the spirit. I was laughing and giggling. I was moving all around. People were telling me things that I was doing and how I was moving and such while they were watching me. And he hit me. The God blasted me. And that wasn't it. Last night, Peter Gustavo, the worship leader of New Generation, called people forward. Who wants to be a member of this movement of prayer and worshipers? And I said, yeah, I want that, God. I want to receive you. I want to receive those things. I want to go out into the world and do those things for you too. God hit me again, and I got blasted again last night. And so something that I asked God for once, he multiplied it and gave it to me twice. Except last night, when I got blasted this time, I was having visions and just seeing things, and it was like none other. And now I understand what it means to have visions, and now I'm going to ask God to continue working in my life and speak to me in dreams and visions. And I expect and I want to see His signs, miracles, and wonders. I'm just so thankful for how God's working.
Awesome.